My 26F husband, 30M, of 6 years wants to be the father of another woman's child. Posted on r/bestofredditorupdates. Originally posted on r/relationships. So my husband unleashes this on me 3 days ago and I'm still reeling. We're talking over dinner and he mentions that a longtime friend of his wants to have a baby. I don't know this woman personally, but he's talked about her before. Apparently she asked him to be the sperm donor and he said he was very flattered and he wanted to do it. At first I was really surprised, but not necessarily upset. Even though I didn't find the idea palatable, I didn't want to jump to the wrong conclusions, so I told him to explain a little more about what this meant. He tells me she's wanted a kid for a while and she's decided not to wait for a relationship anymore. I asked him if it would be difficult for him to know that somewhere out there, he had a child that he couldn't see or whose life he couldn't be a part of, and if that would affect him emotionally. Then he whips out some really upsetting news. This woman wants him to actually be the father figure. She wants him to be a part of the kid's life, like the actual dad. I do not like this for one major reason: he's been intimate with this woman before. They dated in their early 20s, but he refers to her as a friend, and before now I never minded their friendship. I assumed they didn't think of each other that way anymore. They still might not, to be fair, but isn't it very intimate to share the act of parenting of a child? I just don't know if they'd keep it platonic, considering their history and this very bond-building event they want to plan. He said I'm overreacting and that I'm not showing trust in him. I'm being insecure and it's insulting because he's always been loyal to me before and I have no reason not to trust him. Which is true, but it's just so uncomfortable for me to consider. There's another issue, too. He and I have talked about children, and I let him know fairly early in our relationship, right when we started getting serious, that I have some fertility issues that may make it difficult to have kids in the future. I let him know that I've never gotten a specialist's opinion, and that nothing was certain, but I've been told it may be a concern in the future. It wasn't something in the forefront of my mind. We had both agreed, I thought, to put off planning a family for a few years, so to me it was a distant issue, one that I thought I'd just deal with later, when we were trying. He goes on to tell me he and this woman have been discussing this for a few days and he's going to do it because I might not be able to have his kids anyways, and if it turns out I can't, he wants to seize this opportunity because he might not get another one like this later. I feel hurt. My emotional reaction is that I'm somehow inadequate, even though we haven't even started trying for kids and I don't even gotten a specialist's opinion. I feel written off, I feel shocked, I'm very upset. But deep down, I wonder, what if I can't have kids? Is it fair to deny him parenthood? Am I looking at this the wrong way? Truthfully, he has always been faithful. Could this dynamic somehow function properly in a way I'm not seeing? I'm so weirded out right now, I wouldn't even know how to picture this future. We have an argument. He tells me I'm being selfish because he has always wanted children and I cannot expect him to give up such a huge dream of his. He says he isn't cheating with this other woman, they aren't going to have smash. He claims it'll be like he just has a kid he can father, and the kid will just live with a friend. He says it really has nothing to do with our relationship, it's his own personal matter and I wouldn't have to do anything. I think that's really how he views it, like when one person in a marriage has a time-consuming, expensive hobby that the other doesn't enjoy, but still allows their partner to do even though it means giving up time and resources. But this is a child, not a sailboat. This is a woman he's dated and slept with, even if it was years ago. And that's what's off-putting to me. I honestly have never been in this position, so I don't know if I am just freaking out. I don't know if people commonly do things like this or how these things turn out or how I'm supposed to approach this. A child would be a huge part of his life that I apparently will have no part in. Can someone reality check this, please? How do I even proceed with this? Relevant comments. Commenter. Nope, nope, nope. Not selfish. Perfectly reasonable. What a can of worms this is gonna open up. Edit, OMG, are you sure they're not sleeping together and she's already pregnant? Commenter. Oh hellfing no. It's not a hobby. It's a child. A living, breathing human being who has needs, like a father. He can't treat the child like a puppy or a hobby, it'll be his kid. All of your objections are absolutely correct. They will have a relationship that you don't share in. There will be a degree of intimacy between them. He'll be financially bound to her, hello child support. This will absolutely involve you, every single thing you two do will be tinged with his child. Every vacation, every holiday, hell, every weekend. Basically, he wants the little family unit with her and not you for some reason. For me, just the fact that he entertained this notion would be grounds for we are going to therapy now and if you ever so much as speak to this woman again we are breaking up. If he argues or worse, actually has smash with her or donates sperm, I'd be flinging divorce papers in his face an hour later. Edit, after seeing previous commenters edit I can't believe how obvious it is. I'd lay money that he's knocked her up already. Update 11 days later. Well, everyone was right, he was cheating, surprise surprise. I called the girl behind his back and found out everything. She wasn't nice about it, it wasn't a fun conversation. Nothing else I can say except I'm out of there and divorce is happening. We dated 3 years, married 3 years, and I'm a stupid idiot and I can't believe I didn't see it before. Makes me cringe to look at my post, how naive could you be? Relevant comments. Commenter. Don't beat yourself up, OP. When you love someone, you're inclined to see the best in them. That's why it's hard for virtually anyone inside a relationship to believe their partner could be cheating on them. Our mind wants to believe that our partners are fundamentally good people, so we tend to find ways to excuse behavior that seems suspect to an outsider. It's why it's always a good idea to talk to others when you have a gut feeling something is wrong. In any event, I'm sorry for your loss. Hopefully you are working to move past this and will eventually open yourself up to loving and trusting someone again. Commenter. So, is she pregnant? OP in response. No, but apparently it wasn't for lack of trying. She was pretty up in my face about it, it was probably the worst conversation in my life. I can honestly say I've never seen red until she started laughing at me. Whatever, they can have each other. F them.
Wired Abyss here. There's a few things that really gave me cause for concern, even from the first post. One, she had never met this so-called friend that he talked about here and there. 2, they have a sexual history with each other. And 3, that he was still going to be a father figure for this potential child. Too many red flags. Definitely something was going on. Because it's not like unheard of to like donate sperm for a friend. Like I've definitely heard other stories of that happening. But too many odd things happening in this one. I'm glad she at least figured out that her husband was cheating on her so she could get out of there and not have to deal with his cheating butt anymore. I wonder what the husband's endgame was, though. Did he expect her to just go along with it? I'm surprised he even brought it up at all, to be perfectly honest, and not just continue the affair, have the child, and just have this secret life. He wanted almost like approval to like continue this relationship in a wild way. It seems pretty brazen, to be perfectly honest. He was being pretty cocky about the entire thing. I get the impression that he was cheating on her for a very long time.